What is going on, guys? This is your boy Swole TCG. Y'all know what it is. I started this YouTube channel because I feel like your YouTuber's letting you down. Alright, that's why I'm your YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. All these other guys out here are sharing the same deck profile, sharing the same bullshit. I'm here to stop that. Alright, I'm gonna give you guys the spice, the sauce, the gains to make your deck creativity next top tier level. Alright, so let's get into the first deck profile of this channel, which is going to be my Azamina Fiendsmith Kashtira deck profile. I just took it to YCS Orlando and I top 250 X3. Not too much to brag about, but it's also an original deck. You know, it's something not that many people are actually thinking about doing, and I'll go into combos. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with the engine, then we'll go non-engine, then we'll go into extra deck, and then we will do the side deck. All right, now, as far as this goes, this is a 3-engine deck, so this is a lot different than the standard Kashtira Fiendsmith control decks that we've seen. So, in order to fit the Azamina package, we had to limit some of the engine. So we have 1 Birth, 2 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, and 1 Planet. Now, this ratio I feel is perfect because Kashtira to me is just an extender, and it can also kind of hurt a little bit with obviously Unicorn is pretty devastating right now with how tight the extra decks are for a lot of these meta decks. So to me, I only really see them as a extender for the Azamina. I mean, it does come up. It comes up a little bit as far as like their effects to help break boards and helps you a little bit going second, but as it's more so just bait for hand traps and extending for my Azamina plays. Now, and we'll go over the combos here afterwards. Next up, the Fiendsmith engine. All right, here's the one-ofs. You got 1 Track, 1 Paradise, 1 Lurie. Naturally, since I'm playing a 3rd engine, I'm not maximizing track like all the other builds. There's no need. You will get to your Fiendsmith side regardless of seeing Fiendsmith cards thanks to Moon, so it's pretty irrelevant. You do max out on the rest of the engine because it's broken, it baits out hand traps, and it's too much to stop. So obviously the 3 Engraver, 3 Lacrima, and Lacrima inside this deck, this is your best normal summon. It's just double hand trap stop. It's just really hard to out Lacrima. Now on to the actual spice and sauce. So we'll start off with the basic that everybody knows, 3 Wanted. All right, now next up, obviously since this is a more Azamina focused build, I have 3 Witch. And the reason for 3 Witch and I didn't do 2 is because this or this, if I just draw one of them and have another Sinful Spoils in hand, I have full Azamina combo, and we'll go over that in a second. But overall, I want to see one of these in my hand. I don't mind which at all, because it's just whatever, and it's just going to get me into my Fiendsmith plays if they stop it. But we'll go through that next. 2 Deception. Deception is really great. It helps cut out some of the bricks, even though you don't really have any bricks, honestly. But it works really well. The burn effect actually did come up quite a bit, especially with my pure build, because I'll always have an Azamina on board, and I'll typically have a Deception that's actually active. It has come up because of how much Sinful Spoils I play. So it actually gave me a game where I made him lose 1500 and I gained 15, and it happened on my turn and his turn, so technically it was a 3k plus a 3k, so it was pretty crazy. Love Deception, but 2 is all you need because I'm also playing 2 Hallowed. Hallowed plus any Sinful Spoils card is full combo, and it would be dumb not to. I mean, I personally would love to run 3. I feel like this card is just busted, especially if I open up with any of my Sinful Spoils cards. But obviously Cash and Fiendsmith still need their spots in there, and I could not limit them any further without hurting myself with consistency. So, and then the final one is Sinful Spoil Slumber. This is your best extender. It's an interruption. It's such a great card, and it is so badass because it recycles itself with wanted. So you'll double use this card, it will get banished because after you reset it, it gets banished once it leaves the field again. And then you can just use one as effect, and instead of getting rid of your deception, you just shuffle this back in the deck, and then you're already set up to use this all over again. And it's such a great card. Absolutely love it. We'll get into the combos thereafter. All right, next up, we got the hand traps, 3 imperms, obviously, 3 ash, 3 talents. To me, these are the best hand traps, board breaks in the game right now. It's too busted to not play these 9. Talents is too good. I mean, you see talents, you activate talents against your opponent's game. Ash is self-explanatory. Imperm, with how many talents is running around, it's pretty self-explanatory. 3 ogre. I like ogre a lot because it's not a dead card like Valor is. If you get first or second, it just plays well going first or second. It feels really good to have this in your hand. You're not limited like Valor, so I prefer this over Valor. It answers a lot, and it's a great card. Next up, Bestials. You got to play Bestials. I mean, there's too much going around not to play them, and it also just helps with your Azamina. It helps with your Fiendsmith. It's level 6 darks that just answer too much. So I feel like Bestials are a must. And then the Spice for YCS, because I figured there's going to be a lot of Mitsurugi out there, 3 Droll. Naturally, there was not as much Mitsurugi out there, but it did come up quite a bit with all the Rizal Fiendsmith variants. I mean, there was quite a few people I played against, and they started off with Engraver, and their whole turn just got skipped. So this card's phenomenal, this format, and if you don't answer the Fiendsmith package soon, I mean, it's just going to continue to tear down the best deck. So this is an absolute main going forward for this format, I feel like. Alright, next up will be the extra deck. So first up, Typhon. I didn't really make him too much. I think I made him like 1 game. He was alright. I feel like it's necessary to have him just because he can help. DDD going first, typically like with the Fiendsmith line, I'm not really going into Desiree right out the gate unless I know for a fact they don't have it because I looked at their hand with talents, or I'm just going to go for DDD just because it's just going to answer quite a bit, and especially if I don't know what they're playing. So DDD is definitely a must. Chaos Angel for those really grindy games. A few of those Rizal Fiendsmith matchups that I had just got really grindy, and Chaos Angel is one hell of a card to try to out. Necroquip, obviously it's great. It gives you an additional draw when you have all the Fiendsmith engine that you do. It's just awesome card. First Azamina, Il Silva, naturally our Omni Negate, really crazy card, absolutely phenomenal. And there's a lot, obviously people don't know the second effects for Azamina cards. With Il Silva, your opponent takes double battle damage for any other Azamina card, which is pretty crazy because it stacks up with the others. Our Searcher, Risolago, absolutely amazing, and it has come up with my opponents losing the 500 attack defense for each Azamina on the board, because I can sometimes end with 3 Azaminas in this build. It has happened where my opponent lost 1500 attack and defense, and it is pretty devastating because then they try to run into my Omni Negate and then they're like, oh shit, I didn't realize. So it's pretty crazy. Great card. Saint Azamina, the absolute go to the deck. People were not ready for it at YCS. They thought Desiree could answer this, but you cannot target your own cards. So your opponent cannot target their own cards while this is on the field. In order to get Desiree's negates, all of those link monsters have to target a fiend on the board in order to activate. So since you can't target, Desiree doesn't get any kind of link equip, which means Desiree cannot negate anything. So it was really hard for them to out. The only real outs for Azamina is going to be talents, Typhon, and Exciton. Those are the only ones that could really out it. So naturally with Unicorn inside the deck, I'd always rip their Exciton or something like that, because I don't really care about Duo Drive. I think, as you've seen from the hand traps to what I'm rocking, I am not worried about anything from their engine. Next up, 2 Desiree. I feel like I might have been able to come down to 1, but with running Paradise, it's just safer to have 2 inside your deck. And I mean, self-explanatory from there, just amazing card. 2 Requiem. Now this one you cannot cut down. This is the #1 bestial target. Everybody wants to knock this out. Everybody's not expecting a second Requiem. You have to play 2 Requiem. If you're playing any kind of Fiendsmith variant, you have to play 2 Requiem. It's just absolutely mandatory. Moon. Moon is pretty awesome. If I don't draw any of my Fiendsmith cards, my Kashtira and my Simple Spoils engine just gets me right into Moon, which gets me right into my Fiendsmith line, which is just amazing. SP. Didn't really make SP too much. My Fiendsmith, Azamina just answered everything I needed it to. And but I mean, it's nice to have. I think maybe I made it one time just to help with the extra removal. Sequence, one of came up where he got banned, but he got removed from play. But I still feel like 1 was fine. I don't think I would have increased anymore. I mean, it was a little annoying when it got banished, but it was all right. Egg Monday just absolutely busted. So many lines you can get into with the Fiendsmith line, where you can end on Desiree. There's also a cool idea that I'm going to work on, hopefully, if the Fiendsmith line doesn't get absolutely destroyed on the next ban list. I'm going to make a build that the TCG will be able to abuse Rex Tremende, because that card is busted, and you can end on Desiree and Rex Tremende because of Egg Monday and the new trap. So because of that new trap, it's actually a pretty cool line. So I'll be making different variants as we proceed through this format. I don't think we are going to see too much change right now until obviously Alliance Insight comes out and the ban list, which most likely will happen in Las Vegas. Next up, the extra deck. 1 Barrier, pretty self-explanatory, just crazy card. Triple Tactics, this is always going to be inside your side deck. I mean, it's just the side deck card ever to go first. Nibiru, I kind of wanted to main it. I might have actually mained it over Ogre. If I went back again, I might have done that instead. Every time I put him in, he's just been very relevant. He was very dominant, and as we've seen from the ending of YCS, I mean, it got the guy first place. So 2 Lightning Storm, absolutely would have cut this card. Did not come up. I baited out like a Desiree negate with it. That's pretty much it. It was pretty useless. I could have put anything else in there. 3 Ulti Slayers, answers everything. It was a great card. Fortunately, every time I had this card in my hand, for some reason, I would always get talent, and they would always send this one back. So I never actually got a Resolve Slayer, but it definitely would have crushed them if I did. So I would definitely play it. And then next up, obviously, everybody's side deck has it, 3 Lancia. All right, so we're going to go over a couple of strategies. So with this build here, I'm just going to show you the Azamina line by itself. So Hallowed plus any Simple Spoils card in your hand is full combo. Me personally, I like the Wanted, the Hallowed and Wanted, but I mean, literally, you could have any one of these inside your hand, you got full combo. So Hallowed plus any of these is full combo as far as the Azamina line. You can actually extend into the Fiendsmith line because of this. So we'll go ahead and show you that with these. Naturally, 2-card combos are pretty fucking horrible, but until we get Alliance Insight, it won't necessarily be 1-card combos. Now, when we get Alliance Insight, these 2 cards right here are going to be absolutely devastating together. So it's going to be fun. I will be putting out a pure Azamina build coming up here soon, but I'm just going to show you guys the spice that I brought with me. I have a pure Azamina build coming out, and then a Glad Tempi deck that I'm going to be putting out here for you guys soon. But anyways, so you're going to activate Hallowed, chain 1 in. Alright, so then obviously 1 is going to go ahead and get you your Witch, and then from there, you're going to special summon Moo. So, Moo's effect is going to go ahead and grab you Slumber. Now, you can do Slumber here, or you can do Deception. It doesn't matter because you have Witch. Me personally, I go for Slumber just in case. Like, if you say you don't have any other cards in hand, these are the only 2 cards you have in hand now. Like, if Witch is the only card you have in hand, you're going to go for Slumber. Because you can just send Slumber to special Witch, and then you got Witch effect, and then I would just set Deception, and then you can use Slumber effect to reset itself since you have Risalago on the field. Now, you can go ahead and activate the Deception because you want that end phase to let it reset itself here, and then you can go ahead and link these 2 off and go straight into Moon. Now you have to be careful, this is your 3rd summon. Alright, so you have Moon and you have your 2 Simple Spoils cards. So the next step here, you're going to go ahead and do Hallowed effect to shuffle back Risalago. Now, once you do that, you will activate the Hallowed, and you're going to send the Deception and the Slumber. Now, Slumber is going to remove from play. Alright, so we'll have Slumber removed from play. I'm trying to make sure this is all on the camera. First YouTube video, so don't judge me too hard. Now, that is going to go ahead and grab your Saint. So, Saint, this is your 4th summon now. Saint's effect is going to special summon one of your Azaminas, and that will be right there. So now you have your Omni Negate. So 5th summon is your Omni Negate. Now you can full combo right here into your Fiendsmith line and go into your Requiem, then Requiem effect, and then you're going to go ahead and grab out your Lacrima. Over here, there it is. So you grab your Lacrima, and then your Lacrima effect to dump the Engraver. So you can go through your full entire Fiendsmith line after this. So your inboard will have Saint Azamina and Il Solo. This makes it extremely difficult for your opponents to get through. Also, they're going to take damage if they try to beat over this during battle phase too. If they summon something, they just try to beat over it, they can't. So it's kind of, it's a double whammy. But the cool thing right here is with that 2-card combo, and say you start off with that, and you can still get there even without that, and I can show you that as well. But you can activate 1 as effect Engrave to send this back to the bottom of your deck. And that right there is just crazy because it still leaves the Deception Engrave for you to reset for follow-up on the next turn. And that's where it just gets absolutely insane because, I mean, being able to recycle this card is just so powerful. But, you know, sometimes that was just like a, if you had no other cards in hand scenario, you know, you sent this off. If you, obviously you're gonna have other cards in hand. So like this will typically be set during the end phase. And then you can activate this. I mean, this card is so powerful. I mean, it stops a lot of bullshit. I mean, I've literally booked somebody's duo drive and it just shut them down completely. So it's pretty hilarious. All right, so next up, I'm gonna show you the synergy with Kashtira and the Simple Spoils package. So Deception alone, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, you can get the Deception through any one of these cards. So if you have Wanted, whatever, it doesn't matter. But these, it's just so powerful. So for right now, we'll just do a demonstration using Deception and Fenrir. All right, so actually, you can special Fenrir, then you get Fenrir's effect. All right, you never want to activate the Deception first. All right, never, even when you're going first, because this is a 3-engine deck. Typically, when they see this or they see a Fiendsmith, they're instantly going to think you're Kashtira Fiendsmith. No one's going to expect you to have an Azamina play, especially if your build is like mine where it's heavy Azamina. But then you're going to go ahead and grab your Unicorn. Now this is where it gets spicy. You activate your Deception, you tribute your Unicorn, grab your Hallowed, okay? Now you Special Unicorn. You keep that load in hand, all right? Because you need your field clear to be able to summon these Kashtira. Believe me, I've seen people completely mess this up, so I have to say this. All right, grab your birth, activate your birth. Now, from here, you can use Birth's effect to bring back the Fenrir, or you can just keep on comboing. So, I mean, it's the same thing. Hallowed and the Deception, you're going to go into Moo. Moo, for me, since I don't have the Wanted, I don't have the Witch yet, like, you can cycle through this whole motion where you go from Wanted to that, but naturally, you want to insulate yourself from Nib as much as possible. So, you're going to have to go kind of play around it. Everything's going to be situational, depending on the cards that you draw, but this right here just starts you inside your combo, and it's just free. It's so free to have this because getting a free stack, getting a free monster, you don't lose any hand advantage, and you get to go into your Azamina plays. It's just, the synergy with these guys is just awesome. You know, and it's a double whammy because obviously Unicorn rips somebody, it's just gonna hurt them too bad. All right, guys, I hope you like my deck profile. I will be posting a lot more. Hopefully I can get better video quality and better recording. This is my first video, so don't murder me too much. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. And we're gonna correct these YouTubers and get some creativity back into this game. So.